The story continues as Luciel and the others arrive at the holy city of Shurul. Bazan asks Luciel about his next plan, and he tells him that he needs some stock of Dump X, Substance X. Since he's still a pussy, he asks Bazan to escort him to the Adventure Guild to get his stock of Substance X. At the guild, they meet a waitress who introduces them to the master. Luciel introduces himself as a healer, causing a shocking reaction from everyone, as it's uncommon for a healer to visit the Adventure Guild. The master learns that he's Broad's playmate, his apprentice. Luciel requests for 3 barrels of Substance X, again shocking everyone there. The master tells him that he doesn't give Substance X to people who can't handle it, so he brings him a cup to test Luciel. Luciel, being the true masochist he is, chugs it down like a pro. And everyone thinks he must be the infamous Maso zombie healer. The master hands him over the stock of Substance X, and inquires if he treats people for just a silver coin. Luciel tells him that he'll think about it, if his wood makes him feel as good as Broad's. Luciel says his farewell to Bazan, and reaches the Healers Guild headquarters. He's surprised by how huge it is. Inside he meets with 2 receptionists, who use a magic crystal ball to call the priest named Grandheart, who had summoned him. He guides Luciel through a secret door and uses a magical elevator. Grandheart mentions that the place has restricted access to prevent outsiders. When they reach the top floor, he is met with Lumina. He's excited about seeing her, but she thinks Luciel has had a gender change, and calls him Louis, much to his shock. He corrects her, and tells her that his Excalibur has grown since the last time they met, and she invites him to come by her room later so that she can test it out. Grandheart takes him through a storage room which looks like a torture chamber, and Luciel wonders if he is more masochist than him. They then go to another room through there, and Grandheart asks him about the letter he got from Maritoni that claims Luciel is damaging their business. Luciel explains to him the whole story about healers overcharging their patients, and he suggests making treatment fees more transparent so everyone could receive the treatment. Grandheart lets him off the hook, and says he will discuss it with the other priests and Archbishop. Grandheart then assigned Luciel to the spiritual cleansing unit, and he will be paid 20 gold coins per month. Luciel just hit a jackpot, as it's way more than what he used to make in his previous life even if he worked for years. Although he is excited, he wonders if he can handle this job. Later he meets Lumina in her room, but she's not interested in any plot development. After learning about Luciel's new job, she tells him about the cemetery that transformed into a labyrinth. Luciel has learned about labyrinths during his 2-year study, and Lumina thinks that he is not totally useless. She tells him that the labyrinth is infested with skeletons, zombies, and ghosts, and they can be destroyed using purification spells. The good thing about this job is that he will receive monster drops which he can use to purchase spell books. Also, if he is lucky, he may even find treasure during his quests. He is excited about his job but is afraid if he'll turn into an actual zombie, but Lumia tells him these are isekai-friendly zombies that will help him level up, so he shouldn't worry about it. She mentions that the only major con is the smell, which is terrible, but to Luciel, who has been chugging down Dump X for the past 2 years, this shouldn't be a problem. The following day he is introduced to Jord, who is his senior. Grandheart gives him a special robe which costs more than his life. He also gives him an access card to use the secret passage with the magical elevator, but asks him to promise not to bring people for random hookups. Also, no pets and kids allowed. He makes the vow, and it's recorded in the card. If he breaks it, he'll face severe penalties. He then ventures into the labyrinth along with Jord, where he witnesses Jord using his purification magic to destroy a zombie, and it drops a magical stone. After the tutorial, Jord leaves, and Luciel continues deeper into the labyrinth in search of monsters, and thanks Broad in mind for placing weapons in his magic bag. He encounters a group of zombies, and is so scared that he mistakenly casts the purification spell 3 times when once would have been enough. He notices that his level is not going up, but thinks since he's receiving enough money it should be fine, and meanwhile he can use this place as training. He realizes if he keeps using his purification spell he will run out of magic, so he decides to use the secret technique from Isekai life hacks, and casts the spell onto the sword. He then uses his sword to destroy all the monsters. He also experiments using a recovery magic on the undead, and realizes it works as well but leaves a mess. He also finds a floating monster called Will-O-Wisp, but they are surprisingly easy to deal with. He clears the first level, and takes a break for lunch. To his surprise, no monsters bother him, probably due to the substance X he's been drinking. After that, Luciel clears the second level, and advances to the third. There he's attacked by a group of skeletons but he defeats them as well, deciding to call it a day. This is where the video ends. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.